What's going on? Welcome back to another video, and today is another episode of Movie Review Wednesday. Now, before we even get into any of that, first off, if you are new, thank you so much for taking the time to come click on the video, click on the channel. It means the absolute world. Thank you all for all the support on the last few videos. Very happy to be back. I'm happy to be getting back into the YouTube video grind. It's going to be kind of slow at first. I'll be getting back into the cycle, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ready to kind of get back into this cycle of YouTube. So if you are new and you've been clicking on the videos, commenting, and all of that, thank you. It means the world that you all are still sticking around, even after the kind of a bit of a long hiatus that I had. But with all of that aside, we are back. It is another episode of Movie Review Wednesday, and guys, we have a interesting one today. But before we jump into that, this is basically how Movie Review Wednesday works. So what I'm going to do is I am going to give you the synopsis. Excuse me. It's early in the morning. I'm going to give you guys a synopsis, tell you what the movie's about, tell you what it is rated on certain rating websites. Then I will give you my review. I'll give you the good, the bad, tell you what I liked, tell you what I didn't like. Then at the end of the video, I will give you guys a rating from A to F. I think I'm going to change my rating system back next year to 1 to 10, but I'm still figuring that out. But yeah, I'll give you a rating from A to F. And then we'll be on our merry way. So again, if you are new, thank you so much for taking the time to like, comment, subscribe. If you are new and you enjoy the content, consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. And without further ado, I think let's just hop right in. Oh wait, no, I didn't even tell you what we're reviewing today. Today we are reviewing the newest movie from Ang Lee, starring Will Smith, and that is Gemini Man. This was one I was kind of looking forward to. I was like, oh, that's an interesting premise. Let's just hop into the synopsis. Henry Brogan is an elite 51-year-old assassin who's ready to call it quits after completing his 72nd job. His plans get turned upside down when he becomes the target of a mysterious operative who can seemingly predict his every move. To his horror, Brogan soon learns that the man who's trying to kill him is a younger, faster, cloned version of himself. IMDb is rated a 5.7 out of 10. It has got a 25% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 38% on Metacritic. So we're just gonna hop right into it. So we're gonna start with the good. I mean, the first thing is it's double Will Smith. I think Will Smith does a good enough job with what he has at carrying the film. Obviously he's playing two versions of himself, and so I think that the acting from him was done well. I mean, it's Will Smith. You kind of know what you're going to get with Will Smith. A lot of people have been like, oh, he's been in so many bad movies lately. Yes and no. I feel like he gives good enough performances to make the movies a bit better than they probably would have been. But that doesn't mean that the films themselves are really good. But nonetheless, Will Smith, I think he's had a relatively good 2019. He shined in Aladdin. He was the best part of Aladdin. And then this film, he himself is not bad in this film, so I'll give him credit for that. There's good action in this film. I'll kind of go more into it in the bad. The action set pieces themselves are good, but there is an aspect about them that I don't like. I'll go into that in the bad. But the set pieces, I enjoyed them. I just kind of sitting there, not really thinking about it. I enjoyed the action scenes for what they were. And then the kind of the last good, I've only got 3 good points, is Benedict Wong. I didn't even know he was in this movie until I saw the movie. And he was a high point for me. He was very funny. He was kind of a comedic relief character, but he was funny. And yeah, I liked him. He brought a different aspect to the film because the film's like serious the whole time, and then he was kind of brought a funny aspect to it. But that's pretty much it with the good. So let's hop right into the bad. And there's just a lot of technical aspects in this film that I think just don't work. And kind of talking about the action scenes, like, I saw what Ang Lee was going for with like this 120 frames per second or whatever it was, but it seemed clunky and it seemed not very realistic. I kind of got where he was going, but it didn't hit for me because it was very distracting. And in an action scene, to have the action distract in a bad way, for me, is a big negative. And I mean, like I said, I think the action set pieces were good, but the technical aspects of like the 120 frames per second kind of clunkiness, I didn't like, and I didn't think was that great. The next thing I want to say is the pacing's really bad. It's really bad in this movie. There is a clear first, second, and third act, but they just prolong so much stuff, and I got bored. I was checking my watch. I got tired. Wasn't gonna fall asleep, but like I am now. But yeah, the pacing, the story overall is a very interesting concept that I feel like was just executed very flat. It's very bland. Will Smith is really the only good part besides like Benedict Wong's comedy. Is really the only good part of the film. The rest of it's very bland. It really falls short for me. I really liked this concept. I thought it was a very interesting concept. I thought if executed well, it could have been very good. I just don't think it was executed very well. The story was just boring and flat and bland the entire time. But yeah, one thing I want to bring up before I end the review that I forgot to put in my good was the CGI of young Will Smith. It's very believable in this movie that there are two Will Smiths in the room. It's done very well. Very, very well. So I will give them credit for that. That was done very well. It was. So I will give them credit for that. But that's pretty much it for the review. This one, I just didn't have that great of a time in the theater. Will Smith is obviously good. Benedict Wong shined at points. And some of the action was okay. But some clunky CGI action along with a very flat, bland, boring story, it just kind of killed it for me. I mean, there were parts of the movie where I was like, okay, I see where you're going, But then in the end, I was just left disappointed because I was like, hey, you went that way? There's a reveal in the third act that I'm like, you didn't need that. That's not necessary. They were trying to obviously have this big twist, and it fell flat. It fell hard. And another thing, I went to see Gemini Man like opening night, and there was like 3 people in the theater that I was with, like in the theater, not including myself. So there was 4 people in the theater total, including myself. This movie flopped hard at the box office, and I feel bad because I know how hard it is to make a movie, how many people are involved, but it bombed bad, and I get why. It's not that great of a movie. I gotta give you guys a ranking, and I give it a C. So I didn't like give it a D or an F because it's not a D or an F quality movie. Like, Will Smith does enough to keep it as just an average to below average movie. But just because I gave it a C doesn't mean I like it, because I don't. A C is a low score for me. A lot of movies that I didn't like got C's and C's and below. So just because I give it a C doesn't mean I think it's good or anything. Like, it's an average movie that the only reason it's that high is because of Will Smith and like the subtle moments from Benedict Wong. Besides that, that's pretty much it. Let me know down in the comments below, what did you think of Gemini Man? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know why in the comments. I'll talk to you guys about it. Let me know what your thoughts were. Next week, hopefully, we've got a better movie review. I'm going to see Zombieland 2 on Thursday. That'll be next week's review, so keep a lookout for that. But guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you again if you're new for liking, commenting, subscribing. For everyone that's returning, thank you for sticking around after my lengthy hiatus. It really does mean the world that you guys were coming back and still watching even after I took that long of a break. Like, that really says a lot, and it means a lot. So thank you. That's pretty much it, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you in the next video.